Hello students, in this video we are going to study the remaining exercise for chapter 4. The chapter name is Heat, class 7, subject science, NCERT. Before starting those exercise, let me recall what we had learned from the chapter. So in the chapter we had seen that the degree of hotness or coldness of any object is called its temperature. And whether an object is hot or cold, we can say that from its temperature. Then we had seen the temperature of a substance can be increased on giving heat to that substance, and the temperature of a substance in the same way decreases on absorbing heat from that substance. Then we had seen the instrument which is used to measure the temperature of an object. So the instrument to measure the temperature of an object is called the thermometer. And the thermometer that measures our body temperature is called a clinical thermometer, or you can say doctor's thermometer. Then we had seen the range for this thermometer. So a clinical thermometer can measure temperature from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. And in Fahrenheit scale, it's from 94 degree Fahrenheit to 108 degree Fahrenheit. The normal temperature of the human body is 37 degrees Celsius, that we had already seen, and in Fahrenheit scale it's a 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. Then we had seen the next another type of thermometer. So the thermometer which is used in the laboratory is known as the laboratory thermometer. And the range of this kind of thermometer is usually from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. There is also another kind of thermometer. So the thermometer which is used to measure maximum and minimum temperature of the day is known as the maximum minimum thermometer. And in clinical thermometer, there is a kink, or you can say constriction like structure near the bulb of mercury. And this kink prevents mercury level from falling down. Then we had seen different modes or different ways for the transfer of heat. So heat flows from the body which is at the higher temperature to a body which is at the lower temperature. And that is why hot object or hot tea becomes cold, due to the flowing of heat in the atmosphere from the tea. That is the example for this transfer of heat. On heating one end of an aluminium rod with the flame of a candle, heat flows from its nearer end to the far off end. And the process of transfer of heat from the hot end of a solid object towards the cold end of the solid object is known as the conduction. So in the aluminium rod, the transfer of heat takes place by this mode of transfer of heat, that is conduction. And the solid substance like metals become hot due to the process of conduction. Then we had seen conductors and insulators of the heat. So the substance through which conduction of heat take place easily are called good conductors of heat. In that examples we had seen metals like copper, silver, aluminium, iron, etc. are good conductors of heat. Then we had seen poor conductors of heat, or you can say insulators. So the materials which do not allow heat to pass through them easily are called poor conductors of heat or insulators. In the example we had seen wood, plastic, leather, ebonite, that we had seen what is ebonite is wool, glass, rubber, etc. are the poor conductors of heat. And on heating the vessels containing water, water gets heated in the vessel, and this mode of heat transfer in the water is known as the convection. Liquid and gaseous substance get heated by the mode of transfer of heat called convection. This is second type of transfer of heat, mode of transfer of heat. But there is one exceptional case we had seen, that is with mercury. So mercury is a liquid even though it gets heated by the mode of transfer of heat called conduction. Then we had seen one uses of this or one phenomena, natural phenomena, which is based on this convection. So in coastal region, sea breeze during the day and land breeze during the night time occur due to this convection. Then we had seen the third type and last type for the transfer of heat. So that is, from the sun, heat comes to us by the process known as the radiation. And the transfer of heat by the radiation does not require any medium. Then we had seen about dark color object and light color object. So dark color objects absorb radiation better than light color objects, and this is the reason why we feel more comfortable in light color clothes in the summer season. We had also seen what is happen with these woolen clothes and why we are wearing these woolen clothes in the winter season. So woolen clothes keep us warm during the winter season. It is because wool is the poor conductor of heat and it has the air trap between the fibers, and normally heat is more absorbed by black objects compared to the white objects. So this is the things we had seen in the chapter or in the explanation of this chapter. Then after we had seen the textbook solution of this chapter that you had already written in your book, I hope so. Then after we had seen some extra exercise in that choose the correct option we had seen. Then after fill in the blanks. Then answer in one word, true, false, and short question type. One answer in one sentence we had seen that was given in your homework. And question 6, that is define the following, is we had already seen. Select the odd one out. Till now these were given in your homework up to the select the odd one out. So you have to write this all exercise in your notebook. Then after we had seen answer in short, so that was not given in your homework. Now we will continue the exercise, and the next question in this exercise is give the scientific reasons or explain giving scientific reasons. In that first one, there is a kink or you can say constriction near the mercury bulb in a capillary tube of a clinical thermometer. We have to give the reason why the kink is there in the clinical thermometer. So here the reason is given to you. First reason is mercury rises in the capillary tube during the measurement of temperature of the patient. Capillary tube, that means thin tube which is there inside the clinical thermometer in which the mercury is there. So in that tube the mercury rises when we are measuring the temperature of any person. Now due to kink or you can say constriction, the mercury itself does not fall down. If kink will not be there, then this mercury itself, while removing this thermometer from the mouth, it will fall down. So to remove this, the kink is present in the clinical thermometer. So after removing the thermometer from the contact of the patient's body, mercury remains steady at that level. Because of the kink, the mercury level does not fall down, and therefore the body temperature of the patient can be read even after some time, or even after we are removing it from the contact of the patient's body, we can also read the temperature. So for this, the kink or constriction near the mercury bulb in the capillary tube of the clinical thermometer, the kink is present over there. The mercury rises in this tube while measuring the temperature of the patient, and due to the kink, the mercury level does not fall down, and after removing even the thermometer from the contact of the person's body or patient's body, mercury remains steady at that level. So even after some time, you can also read the temperature of the person or patient. So this is why the kink is present in the clinical thermometer. Now next reason is it is not advisable to wash the clinical thermometer with hot water. why we should not wash the clinical thermometer with the hot water. So here the reason is given to you. Clinical thermometer can measure temperature from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. It is the range for the measurement range for the clinical thermometer. It's a 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. The temperature of hot water is more than the 42 degrees Celsius. As we had seen, the temperature of the boiling water is up to 100 degrees Celsius. So hot water temperature of this hot water is more than the 42 degrees Celsius. And if we wash the thermometer with hot water, then mercury expands in the capillary tube above the 42 degrees Celsius, and hence it will break the tube. As the temperature of the hot water is above the 42 degree Celsius, when we put the thermometer in this kind of hot water, then the mercury expands and it goes beyond the level or beyond the range. So there is the chances or it will break the tube. So the clinical thermometer cannot be washed with the hot water. As we had seen, it is only used for the measurement of the temperature of the human body or any patient's body. It is not used to measure the temperature of any object or hot water. So we cannot wash the clinical thermometer with the hot water, as its range is from only 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. So here it is our second reason is there. Now next, third number. Next is metal utensils are used for cooking. Why we are using metal utensils for the cooking purpose? So metal, as we had seen, metal is the good conductor of heat. So it absorbs heat from the stove, or you can say sagri or chula, whatever you are using to cook food. So metal absorbs the heat from that rapidly and becomes hot. And so heat is supplied speedily to the food material kept in the utensil. So we can give or we can provide the heat faster or speedily to the food which is kept or which we are cooking or which we are using to make the food. So the food is prepared quickly. So hence the metal utensils are used for the food cooking purpose. Metal is the good conductor of heat, so it can easily absorb the heat from the stove and it becomes faster, it becomes hot, and so heat we can easily provide or fastly provide to the food material which are kept inside the utensil. And that's why food prepared quickly, so the metal utensils are used for the cooking purpose or for food cooking. Next is ice is kept in sawdust. Why we are keeping ice in the sawdust? Sawdust, that means we had seen already the leftover material which you found on the carpenter shop. So that is sawdust. So sawdust is a bad conductor of heat, and when ice is kept in sawdust, heat of atmosphere cannot pass to the ice and hence ice does not melt rapidly. So the ice is kept in the sawdust. Sawdust, we had seen wood is the bad conductor of heat. Sawdust, here sawdust we have to take. So sawdust is the bad conductor of heat, and when we are keeping the ice in the sawdust, heat of the atmosphere or the sawdust can do not allow heat of the atmosphere to pass through it easily. So the ice which we kept inside the sawdust does not melt rapidly or does not melt faster. So we are keeping, or from preventing the melting of the ice, we are keeping the ice inside the sawdust. So this is the reason why ice is kept in the sawdust. Next, fifth number, handles of pressure cooker are made of ebonite. Why the handles of the pressure cooker is made up of ebonite? So let me see the answer. As the pressure cooker is used to cook the food, it is made up of good conductor of heat. As in the earlier previous reasons, we had seen metal utensils are made up of or cooking utensils are made up of metals. So the pressure cooker is also made up of metal, which is good conductor of heat. And pressure cooker cannot be handled directly as it becomes too hot when it's heated. When we are using this pressure cooker to cook the food, we cannot directly handle, or we can directly not hold the pressure cooker as it is too hot when it is heated. But the handles are made up of ebonite. What is ebonite material we had seen? So these handles are made up of that material, ebonite, and heat does not pass through the handles because ebonite we had seen is a bad conductor of heat. So we can handle the pressure cooker safely and easily with our bare hands. Directly with the hands we can also hold the pressure cooker with the handles, and hence the handles of the pressure cooker are made up of ebonite. So this is why the handles of the pressure cooker are made up of ebonite. The pressure cooker is made up of metal as we need to heat the food faster or quickly. So it is made up of metal which are good conductors of heat, and while cooking the food, the pressure cooker is heated, so we cannot directly hold that pressure cooker. So the handle of the pressure cooker should be made up of the material which is bad conductor of the heat, or you can say insulator of the heat. So ebonite is one of them. So we are using ebonite to make the handles of the pressure cooker, and with this kind of handles we can handle the pressure cooker easily with our bare hands. So this is why the pressure cooker's handles are made up of ebonite. Next, 6 number. The inner side of a jacket is made up of fur. Why the inner side of the jacket is made up of fur? So fur is the bad conductor of heat, and the inner side of a jacket is made up of a fur to prevent body heat from escaping and keeping the body warm. The same funda as we had seen in the woolen clothes which is made up of woolen, which we are wearing in the winter season. So the fur is also a bad conductor of heat. So to prevent the escaping of heat from the body to the atmosphere and keeping our body warm, we are using this fur as the inner side of the jacket, or the inner side of the jacket is made up of fur. So this is the reason. Next, 7th number, mercury is used in the thermometer. Why the mercury is used in the thermometer? So mercury remains liquid for a wide range of temperature. Up to wide range, it is not converted into solid or gaseous form. It remains into a liquid form or liquid state. It has a fairly uniform rate of expansion for a wide range of the temperature. For the wide range of temperature, it can expand, or it has the property to expand, and it does not stick to the walls of the thermometer, which are made up of glass. This is also another reason it does not stick to the glass or the walls of the thermometer, which is made up of glass. It can be seen easily in a thin glass tube of a thermometer, as it has the silvery gray color. The another reason is its color. Its color is silvery gray, so we can easily see it through this glass tube of the thermometer. And mercury can be easily collected when thermometer breaks. And we can, after even thermometer, if your thermometer breaks, we can collect this mercury. So these are the some of the reasons why we are using mercury in the thermometers. In that, first one is it remains its state, that is liquid state. So it remains in this state for the wide range of temperature. The next is its property of the expansion. So it has the expansion property for the wide range of temperature. Next is non-stickiness. It does not stick to the walls of the thermometer, which are made up of glass. The next reason is its color, that is silvery gray. So we can see it easily through the glass tube of the thermometer. And last one is mercury can be easily collected even after your thermometer breaks down. So these are the reasons why we are using mercury in the thermometers. So here our question 8, that is explain giving scientific reasons, gets over. You have to write these scientific reasons, 7 scientific reasons in your notebook. Now next question is difference between. So in that first difference is between heat and temperature. So in this difference, first difference between this heat and temperature. So heat is a form of energy, whereas temperature, it is the thermal condition of a body. So heat is one kind of energy or a form of energy, whereas temperature, so it is a thermal condition of the body. By this temperature we can say about what is the thermal condition of any body or any object or any substance. The next difference between these two is, in heat, normally it flows from one object to another object when there is a difference in the temperature. When there is a temperature difference between these two objects, heat is flowing from one object to the another object. Whereas in temperature, it is a quantity that indicates whether or not and in which direction heat will flow. By the temperature of different objects, we can say that heat will flow in which direction. By this temperature, we can know that which object is hot or cold, and from that we can say that the heat will flow from the hot object to the cold object. So by this quantity we can say the direction, or we can identify the direction of the heat flow. The next difference between these two, in heat, it is total amount of internal energy of the body. What are the energy present in the body or in the object? Heat is the total amount of that internal energy. And whereas in temperature, it is the proportional to average kinetic energy of the molecules of a body. Temperature represents the average of the proportional to the average kinetic energy of the molecules of that object or of that body. So this is the temperature and heat. Next difference is, in heat it is a cause and in the temperature it is a effect. Here fourth number, heat is a cause and temperature is an effect. Heat is the cause, and because of that cause, what are the effect on the on that object, we can measure by the quantity which is called the temperature. The last difference is its unit. So in the heat, its SI unit is joule, and in the temperature its SI unit is Kelvin. We had seen what is the SI unit. So SI unit for the heat is Kelvin, joule, and SI unit for temperature is Kelvin. So this is the difference between heat and temperature. Now next difference between clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. So first difference between these two, in clinical thermometer, it is used to measure the temperature of a human body, whereas laboratory thermometer is used to measure the temperature of object while performing experiments in a laboratory. So this is the first difference, its uses, why we are using or when we are using clinical thermometer and when we are using laboratory thermometer. So clinical thermometer is used to measure the temperature of any person or human body, and while laboratory thermometer is used to measure the temperature of any object in the laboratories. Next difference between these two is, in clinical thermometer, it measures the temperature from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. And in laboratory thermometer, it measures the temperature from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. So next difference is its ranges. So in clinical thermometer, it is used to measure the temperature from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius, and laboratory thermometer has the wide range of the temperature measurement, that is minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. And the last difference between these two, there is the kink, or this difference is about the construction. So there is a kink or constriction in the clinical thermometer which prevents mercury level from falling down on its own, and there is no any kink or constriction in a laboratory thermometer, as we are measuring the temperature with the clinical thermometer after removing it in the contact of the after removing the contact of the body, or after removing it from our mouth, we are noting or we are reading the temperature measurement. So that's why there is a kink like structure which prevents the mercury level from falling down on its own, and we are using laboratory thermometer when it is in contact with the object. At that time only we are measuring the temperature, so there is no need to structure, kink like structure. There is no requirement of this kink like structure, so there is no any kink in the laboratory thermometer. So this is the difference between clinical thermometer and the laboratory thermometer. First is uses when we are using these two, that is, so clinical thermometer used to measure the temperature of human body, while laboratory thermometer is used in the laboratories to measure the temperature of any object. The another difference is its ranges. So clinical thermometer has the range from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius, and laboratory thermometer has the range from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. In the next is difference in the construction. So there is the kink is present in the clinical thermometer which prevents mercury level from falling down, and in the laboratory thermometer there is no structure like kink present in the laboratory thermometer. So this is the difference between clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. Now next difference is between good conductor of heat and bad conductor of heat. In that first difference, in good conductor or conductors of heat, so the transfer of heat in such substance or object is fast. In this kind of substance, the transfer of heat is faster, and in the bad conductors of heat, the transfer of heat in such substance is slow. In this kind of substance, the transfer of heat is slow. The next difference is its examples. So in the good conductors of heat, gold, silver, aluminium, copper, iron, etc. are good conductors of heat, whereas glass, plastic, ebonite, rubber, leather, etc. are the bad conductors of heat. So these are the examples of the good conductors of heat and bad conductors of heat. First, what is its property we had seen, so that is, in good conductors of heat, transfer of heat take place faster, whereas in bad conductors of heat, this is the slower as compared to the other one. And in the second difference, we had seen these different examples. So metals, that is gold, silver, aluminium, copper, iron, so these are the good conductors of heat, and in bad conductors of heat, the examples of this kind of substance is glass, plastic, rubber, ebonite, leather, so these are the bad conductors of heat. So till now we had seen the three difference. So question 8, that is, give the scientific reason, explain giving the scientific reasons, and difference, give the difference between, in that 1, 2, 3. First, second and third you have to write in the notebook. This is the homework for today. You have to write this exercise in your notebook, and you have to also complete the previous exercise that we had seen. Choose the correct option, fill in the blanks, answer in one word, true, false, answer in one sentence. Then after we had also seen define the following, select odd one out. So with this all exercise, scientific reasons and difference you have to also write in your notebook. And before that you have to solve the textbook exercise that we had already seen in the previous video. So that textbook exercise you have to also write in the notebook. You will find this file in your study material. Thank you.